I still want to park in the Ditto for a while.
Hmm.
Um, I yeah, I had some controller issues, which was a pain earlier this week, but over the weekend I had like a I would say like probably like our second best fox in the state like come into town because he lives a few hours away and he like stayed at my place all weekend and we gamed a bunch, which was good. So I got a lot of like Ditto practice and like little bits of info there.
Hmm.
Um, so I didn't get much. Like I didn't play much on Slippy. I was doing a lot of IRL, so I just have like that game that I sent you, which was from a couple of days ago. Or no, it's not from. It's from excuse me. It's from today. But it's like it's since I've been trying to implement some of the stuff we talked about in the Ditto.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, that sounds good. I guess since this is so fresh, how do you feel playing?
Um, I feel I feel good. I It's funny because I feel like there was a lot of like habits that were pointed out in the last lesson,
Hmm.
and they're habits that I'm trying to break. And so I'm still running into that. Like one of the things we talked about was like wave dashing down or like just like standing still and positioning myself for a tech chase to react rather than like dash dancing while they're like choosing a get up option.
Hmm.
Um, which is it's something that where like I'll catch myself mid game and be like, oh, I was dash dancing there and like I whiffed the grab.
Yeah.
Or sometimes I'll like do an up tilt and I'll be like, you shouldn't have done that up tilt because we talked a lot about me kind of like doing irresponsible up tilts in neutral and things like that.
Hmm.
So feels good. I still feel like I'm maybe throwing out the things that I'm trying to like weed out the game, my games sometimes,
Yeah.
but um, I feel generally pretty. I definitely feel the improvement, especially after like a weekend of playing a good fox.
Nice. That's good to hear. Okay, cool. Let me start streaming and you just get straight to watching.
Yeah,
Okay, cool. Let me
cool. I
know
can
once
see.
you're. Okay, nice.
Yeah. Oh, I'm red by the way. We both play blue, so
Okay.
we just did different.
I think this is a good running shine, but I wish that you didn't double shine. I feel like if you were, I guess I don't know what the double shine was necessarily meant to do. Because I think the first shine made sense because it's like, oh, maybe you see, um, them running forward and you want to like intercept them or something, and that's totally fine. But then like with the double shine, it's like typically when I want to double shine, it's like, oh, I want to shield pressure. Maybe I'm gonna read them doing an action on a shield, or like I'm double shining them like all the way in the corner. So maybe they'll like have bad defense and fall off the stage, and I could, maybe kill them or
Yeah.
something, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I feel like this double shine wasn't like the best, and it kind of sucks too because the running shine. I think this is a really good running shine. I felt very good about that one. And then it looks like you just get thrown into the corner for making a good decision, right? And that always sucks.
Mm-hmm. No, it's funny. I watched that game. I like just I glanced at this before I sent it over.
Mhm.
Um, and I was just like, why did I double shine? Like, I don't even know if I have an answer for why.
Yeah, yeah, that
I
happens.
thought the same thing. I thought the exact same thing. I was like, good. Sometimes you just be, I don't know. Yeah, sometimes I'll be pressing buttons for pressing buttons' sake. It's a bad habit that
No, I
everyone
mean,
can get into.
I get it too. There's so many things I do where I'm like, wow, I can't even like reason with myself. There's just no answer to be had. It happens.
Yeah.
I feel like here you kind of like trapped yourself. I think doing the snare from ledge is like fine, totally reasonable. But then I feel like you aren't really reacting that well. Because after the nair, I felt like you could have seen that the fox was like jumping to like top plat, right, and probably decided not to down tilt. And I think if I understand wanting to like protect yourself from this position, because he could like empty land and then nair, or something, right, or like empty land, run up grab, or maybe drift towards you and bear. But it's like in that case, I'd probably rather crouch than put out a move, just because like by you doing this down
Mm,
tilt, you're in lag, right? And down tilt isn't really that good at 0% too, so it's like it doesn't hit that great.
yeah.
And then it's like you're in lag, and now since you're in lag and the fox is on the ground, you're like, fuck, I have to do something. And so you do this full hop, and it's like now you're in the worst position possible, you know?
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, yeah. I would say it was just like kind of like a two-part sequence of like, let me make sure if they run in at me, I'm
mhm.
catching them.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was clearly not as like a yeah, I definitely like after that nair, like with their positioning. Actually, let me see it one more time. Yeah, like that's they're not even on the ground. I don't have to worry about them like dashing in with an aerial. They're still kind of like airborne when I'm like L canceling that nair.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think it was just more generally like if I'm in the corner, I'm just like let me try and like if I feel like they have like all the opportunities to like just run in and pressure me off of my ledge option. Sometimes I'll do like nair down tilt or something like that to try and be like a get off me kind of move, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
But,
For what it's worth, I do think that's like good in a lot of positions, you know. A lot of the time it's like, oh, I'm gonna do this nair, and I want them to feel like they could punch it, but they probably can't. And then down tilt's a great move to use because like it's a pretty big move, so you can like cover some space in front of you too and get like a decent combo if you hit it. Um,
mhm.
but yeah, I guess just percent slash like positioning made this one a bit different because I generally like, use it when they're
Yeah,
on the ground,
percent for sure.
Yeah.
Percent for sure. I think there's an up smash at like that gets like CC'd in a little bit too. That was like in the middle of a good sequence that I was
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
having. Excuse me.
Hmm.
Mm, Mr. JC.
Yeah, you probably would have gotten it too if you didn't miss it. It happens.
Yeah, and the up air is late.
Yeah, but that one you were like, you probably wanted to cover tech rolls, right? Which is why you waited.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's pretty normal to like realize that they teched in place and then try and pressure um
Well, yeah.
them shielding. So
That's
I think
also
it's fun.
why that's also why I did like the short hop one, like
Y-
under platform to maybe like get them under their shield.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. No, I think that's totally fun. The part that I kind of don't feel great about is once you miss this grab and the fox is like full hopping, you hit this CC. You're clearly holding down, which I think is great. But then you're not ready to like punish.
Mm,
You knew it was gonna happen, but you didn't like take the initiative because that could have
I
been like a CC
see.
grab. CC dash grab. Fox, you get your best combo starter. It's great.
Yeah, I think what happened there was like a poor assessment of how much time I had.
Hmm.
So I whiff the grab, and then I clearly hold L afterwards, trying to get shield, and I obviously just don't have time to do that, which is why you see the shield come out for a second before I like do an option.
Hmm. Hmm.
Did you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. So like I was holding down, and I was probably my guess would be like shield, and then shine out a shield
Hmm.
would probably be why I was holding down already too.
Yeah,
Um, but
I think that
yeah,
makes a
I
lot of
guess
sense.
I have to I have to make a be a little bit more cognizant of like how much time I have in these sorts of scraps, and using CC while I still have the percent. But also
Hmm.
sometimes I'm just afraid to crouch at low percent because if I get drilled, it's like
Pretty bad.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just as bad as not doing any. It's just as bad as not doing anything or not crouching.
Hmm.
Which is why I think I opted for shield.
Yeah.
But given the time,
Yeah, it was a
the
bit
time
different.
that I had.
Yeah, I do think here, just in this specific position, for what it's worth, honestly, I don't think you're at risk of getting like drilled since like the fox is doing like a reverse full hop, and it's kind of like awkward
Mm,
to drill because you don't have like
drill shine, yeah.
yeah, you don't have like the hitbox facing forward, so it doesn't reach out as far. And I guess technically they could have like drifted further away and then drilled like over here. But then it's like, that seems a bit more of like, I guess, a stretch than like what is the most normal thing, or not normal, most typical thing. But yeah, I do think
Hmm.
um generally being scared of drill and crouching definitely like is reasonable, but um yeah, there's not much I could say other than like I think it will happen
Yeah.
sometimes too, where you just get drilled crouching, and that's like a part of the mix up. But I do think in a lot of the spots where like you would be crouching to like potentially CC something or other, um, you like aren't really at risk of getting drilled without them like specifically trying to read it.
Mm.
Because it's like the times when you're CCing are like, oh, I see them in the air and I want to CC a move, right? And so it's like they're probably thinking, okay, I need to like, you know, I'm trying to like, either space a bear or like I'm gonna do an approaching narrator or like read him jumping or something, right? That's like,
Mm.
but it's like if a fox is doing like a drill, fox doesn't use drill like aggressively that way. Fox is like, I'm gonna use drill to stop the other fox from dashing in or something, right? And so it's like the positions don't overlap. And so if you're getting drilled in those spots, a lot of the time it ends up being more that they're like specifically reading crouch rather than like coincidentally drilling. And in that case, I'm probably more okay with getting hit
Gotcha.
by it, you know? Because if they're
Yeah.
reading me, so be it. That's just how it is. But anyway, we could. Oh, I think this was good. Um, Getting off the platform and then shielding here and wave dashing back, I think was really good. But then it felt like you weren't ready to like.
I don't think I had enough. Yeah, I'm not the best at doing. Could I have gotten a running shine there
I
with
think
that
you,
much space, or did I need a
yeah,
JC?
you could have gotten a running shine. Your run is like, so I guess we could count the frames to like be 100% sure. But
Yeah, I don't have the. I'm not the best. I don't have the best gauge when I'm like running. Like when is like the earliest
one,
time that I can
two, three,
shine.
four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, so next frame I think is the frame where you are like able to start crouching. You officially hit run. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. So you had 3 to 4 frames to like shine. I also think that honestly, what I would do in this position, since you had the awareness to like wave dash back on reaction to the full hop, you could have also seen that they did like an early nair. And if that's the case, why,
Yeah,
why
I
not
could
just
probably just
like,
grab.
yeah, why not just run up grab, right? You know what they're doing. So
Yeah,
I think you
especially
missed
if
an
there's no
opportunity in that
fastball
way.
really.
Yeah, yeah, it's like you could run up grab or run up smash, and it's like I thought you were gonna run up smash here, honestly, because up smash would be fine if they no fast fell and stay in the air a bit longer. I don't think they fast fell at all, or maybe they did, but a bit later.
No,
And if
no
they
fast.
did
I
fast
didn't
fall
see any
earlier, it would have
fastball.
been fine. And so it's like up smash covers like a wider variety of like timings in terms of fast fall, not fast fall, or whatever. And so it's like I'd be down to let it rip, you know. Um. Oh, that's good. No. I think this is a cool idea, but I don't think Fox gets to do this. I think it's just Falco only, because his downer,
Mm,
like him getting one hit of downer means he got the hit of downer he needed to get, right. But like it's the same thing I was talking about earlier with like the backwards full hop, where it's like Fox drill, you don't have like, because like your center of gravity is like right here. You don't have all of this in front of that center of gravity, right? You only have the one
yeah.
hitbox right here, and so it's like,
So really drill up tilt's the only option there.
yeah, right. It's like you don't even like actually get all that much, and then he ends up really far away just because like you don't have enough drill hits to like reasonably drift towards him, and so it's like I think that while the idea, like what you were trying to cover, was good, and like the way you tried to do it was like unique, I think this kind of read doesn't really work with as Fox just because drill isn't like good reverse hit most of the time. I think if you like
Mm,
did a late bear, this ends up being a super advantageous position. Doing a late bear on a Fox running in, they like ASDI down or CC, they get pushed far back to shine, and then they're whiffing a shine, and you get to like read that and pressure them,
yeah.
or they
And
don't CC and then
if they whiff that shine and they CC it, do you think they'd be in range for an up tilt?
uh I think if they CC it, yes. If they ASDI it, no.
Okay. Mm,
Because with
okay.
ASDI you get set further because you're not like because the way CC works is your crouching animation, and so then you take I think it's 2/3 of the original knockback, or hit stun or something like that, and you get sent less far. But like the way ASDI works is you're taking the full amount, but you're just like hitting the ground. You hold down so you hit the ground for 1 frame, and then you end up technically grounded, but you still like go further back.
Mm,
And I think that's a
gotcha.
big like distinction to make because ACI definitely way too far. CC they're probably close enough to up tilt.
Yeah. Wait, can you run that back? Oh,
Uh,
actually, okay, no, you already did. You already did. Sorry.
yeah.
Oh, I missed my edge cancel. I was trying to do like edge cancel drill, and then like shine on top of the shield, and then retreat to top plat. But
Mm-hmm.
I didn't edge cancel it.
Yeah.
Shine on top of their shield, and then like if she wasn't shielding,
Mm-hmm.
I would have just tech chase.
Yeah.
But that was the idea there. I tend to do a lot of those um like off of the outer edge of side plats, or sometimes just from the corner. I'll go for that like drill drill edge cancel shine a lot, because sometimes they'll be reacting to me throwing out that drill and
Mm-hmm.
try to like run under and do something to me, or like punish the drill, and then the shine will normally catch them.
Yeah. No, I think that's fine. I don't have any qualms. I do think that it probably isn't great that you still decided to fall through the platform, kind of after being able to see
Yeah.
that the shine was kind of awkward. Just because top platform's always safer than not.
Yeah, I think I overestimated the drift,
Mm-hmm.
or underestimated the the drift of the back air. But
Oh.
mm,
I feel like you're missing a lot of JC grabs.
it's I would say it's funny. It's not the the biggest. It's not like a giant problem, but it's definitely something that I've realized I'm not the strongest at
Mm-hmm.
more recently. I've been analyze. It's funny. I've been analyzing like certain options um, that I don't do, and then
Yeah.
I'll realize like I was thinking about like, man, like sometimes I just like don't chain grab, and I like go for an early up smash when a chain grab would be better, or I'll be like, oh, like why do I like go for some like wacky double shines in certain scenarios when like shine grab is like a much better option if they're going to be in shield.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think I made the connection actually yesterday when I was like talking to my roommate about this, that I think it might just be like a subconscious like choice to not do those options because of like lack of confidence in the JC grab.
Yeah. Oh,
But I
yeah, that
think it,
definitely makes sense.
because it's like, why am I not chain grabbing and why am I not shine grabbing? It's like there's that clear commonality, and it
Mm-hmm.
just sort of clicked for me. But because it's not something where I know my JC grabs aren't the best, but I don't feel like I'm avoiding them. But I think I like in a roundabout way, like I've kind of like built my certain option selections around not doing it, because
Mm-hmm.
I'll whiff them sometimes.
Yeah, you're
But
less inclined to
yeah,
do it just because you're like less comfortable with it or something along those
yeah,
lines, right? Yeah.
yeah,
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Well, I think that's a really good, really good thing to like realize. And I mean, from here
yeah,
on, it seems
yeah.
like you could. It seems pretty easily implementable. So.
No, yeah, I've been working a lot. I had a set recently with a fox, um, where I got chain grabbed to oblivion,
Mm-hmm.
on FD, where like the FD counter pick was just like so like it was just really brutal.
Yeah.
Um, for against a player where I feel like the games are very even on any stage with a platform. Um, and it was just like we talked about it afterwards, and like I since then I've been trying to put an onus on like practicing the chain grab, which I think will help more. But I think I also just need to practice like other general scenarios where I need to be JC grabbing. But
Mm-hmm. Okay, that sounds good. Uh, I think that's all probably fine, but I feel like here you saw them air dodge, and then like didn't really like judge how much time you had to get there well.
mm-hmm.
Because what happens here, if this shine, super duper duper awkward, and what ends up happening a lot of the time is if the other person's reacting well, they see you do a full hop shine on their shield like this when you can't really wave land the side platform, and just do full hop up or full hop air to shield, and you just get hit, right? Because you can't do anything about it. You're double
Mm.
jumping, right? You're
Or
forced to double jump.
honestly, a shine out of shield might have put me off stage in a weird position.
Yeah, you might have gotten shine on a shield if they did it like faster or something.
I might
right?
have gotten shined out of shielded with my double jump already burned when I jumped out of the shine.
Yeah, there's definitely some potential for some freaky stuff to happen. Let me see. Yeah, no, I mean they could have been shining right now, if not, I think
Right
a
then.
frame or two earlier. And so it's like you definitely could have maybe just gotten boomed. But yeah, I feel like this was like pretty bad judgment of like the timing, like your advantage state, I suppose. And it's pretty important to like be able to judge that because this could be like a stock loser. You get up aired here, you're down 2 stocks. You have no double jump, you're just taking a combo, right?
Oh yeah.
That grab was pretty greedy. I think running forward here is fine. Being in this position is fine. But I think if you want to be aggressive, you should probably like running down tilt,
Yeah, I don't hate. I mean, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that grab is like. I don't know. I feel like that's a grab where I feel like I don't unless they like throw out an up tilt there, which is like risky. Um, like I feel like a lot of times, like when you run at a fox like that and they're like in the corner, they just have like the instinct to shield.
Mm-hmm. I
Or
agree.
like if they run to the corner there, like I feel like they're gonna be afraid of running shine, and so they aren't gonna like dash back and dash through me. So sometimes I feel like I can get like a really good like opening off of that grab. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's the kind of grab that I typically throw out, and I feel like I don't get. I feel like it has like a decent enough success rate as like a mix up. But I do understand that it's like greedy and overcommittal in like a really, or I guess it's on the greedier side, and it's like in a matchup where like if you whiff, you can just get punished so hard. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. So do you think like do you do you think that just like in general like that sort of like approach to throwing out a raw grab in neutral is like something to maybe like wean out of my like game plan or
I think that grab isn't like I definitely see the reasoning behind it and like it like makes sense, but I think that the risk reward isn't that great because it's like
mm,
the way that I see it, and this is like a pretty general way that I see or general thing I like feel about melee is it's like if someone's in a bad position already, it's it probably isn't like in my best interest to do something really risky to hit them, right?
mm-hmm.
Just because if they're in a bad position, that means that they really don't have that much to defend against things that I do already. And so it's like, why should I do something risky when I could just like, it'll work itself out most of the time, anyways, by virtue of like them not having the options to deal with it, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, my I just feel like I'm not getting aggressively inclined. So like my brain goes like they're in a poor position, so the likelihood I try to think like when people are pushed into a poor position, what's like the one or two options that they're most likely to do in that scenario because they don't like being in a bad position and like what will punish that. And
Mm-hmm.
just a lot of times if like someone's landing and you have center and they like dash to the corner, they like they're I feel like just dash back shield is like such a common defensive thing that I get out of a lot of species, but I guess they're like I philosophically like choosing my spots a lot more intelligently instead of like going for it all is probably a much like safer way
Mm-hmm.
to go about things.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's not like I play melee and I have my opponent in horrible positions and I don't like go for the biggest read ever. Like I do that fucking every single game or whatever. But just like, I guess there's also way more times where I'm not ever risking anything and I play super duper safe. And so I guess that kind of goes more to say that like I think it's totally fine to go for like hard reads, even when people are in bad positions, and you just like want the maximum value possible. I think that's totally reasonable. But it's like the way that it's weighted should be like you only do it when you are just a quadrillion% sure. You have to know that it will happen, right? That's how confident you have to
So
be.
yeah, it should be more of a scenario where like I it should be more on a read of like the person's habits and maybe like something that should also I guess the other thing, something that I feel like I struggle to assess is um like my balance of like gameplay depending on like the game, like what stage the game is
Mm-hmm.
in. So I think like from this position where like I'm down a whole stock pretty much, it may also not be the time to go for a grab like that, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. I do think, especially once you take into the context that you're down a stock at 13%, taking big risks like that could very reasonably throw the game away.
Yeah. Uh, Actually, I have a general question
Yeah.
that sometimes I know like if you have a solid game plan, like you're not going to be like deviating too much, but I guess like how does your decision making in general like fluctuate depending on with if you're like up a stock, down a stock, or like things like that? Sometimes I feel like I'll just I'll have there will just be variations that will just naturally come based on whether I'm like down or up a stock naturally. Like if we're on even if it's an even game the whole time, and like whenever I die, they're at high percent and I kill them within my first 20%, then like it's like game plan all the way. But if
Mm-hmm.
there's ever a big like ebb or flow or like a serious advantage or like difference in stock count, like I have issues sometimes like strictly staying like exactly to my game plan. And I also don't know if there are like things that I should or shouldn't be doing based on like based on that, if that makes sense. Like it's like
Yeah.
what do you do in those like different scenarios?
Um, I think that well, it when like I guess how to say this. I generally feel like at least when I play, I really don't like depending on, the game state whether I'm up down whatever 90 to 0 to 90% whatever. Like I don't really change my game plan all that much necessarily. I guess the way that I see it is it's like when I have this probably also isn't the most desirable answer, but I guess it's like when I have a game plan, the game plan also kind of like inherently accounts for those things. And so it's like I don't think
Mm,
that because the way that I see it is it's like if I'm at 0% and they're at 90%, I'm not really thinking like, okay, I got to deviate from my game plan and kind of like make this situation work. I'm just like, I have a game plan for playing low percent against high percent Fox, right? And that's like the way I see
yeah.
it. And given like stock leads and stuff, honestly, I do not change almost anything at all depending on whether I'm up or down. If I'm up, maybe sometimes I'll be like, well, fuck it. Maybe I'll run across the stage and up smash because like I think something's gonna happen. It's like if I'm up, I'll be slightly, very slightly more willing to be direct about reads that I have and just go for like
Mm-hmm.
something super high value. And if I'm down, I'll probably be very slightly less willing to do that. Just like maybe I won't full screen up smash down 3 stocks to 1, because I don't want to like do something too risky and just throw my stock away, you know. But like
Yeah.
most of the things I'll be doing will just be the same, you know. Does that
Yeah.
feel
No, yeah. No,
okay?
like
Yeah.
that makes a lot of sense. But sometimes I feel like I can be like I don't know if this interaction is necessarily the example, but it just kind of like was a natural offshoot from us talking about like making hard reads
Mm-hmm.
that like sometimes I really do feel like I might like be willing to throw in like certain Hail Marys or just do things like that like depending on like where I am in a set.
Yeah.
Like some of the sets that we've watched, we like really only just like analyzed one game. But I think like if you see like game 5 or something, or like if I'm up 2-1 and I like really want to close out a set, like sort of difference in like certain option choices. And I was just more curious on like your philosophy about like playing playing the like situation like in the set or in the game versus like playing the situation and like the interaction.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I guess I tend to lean more towards like playing the situation as well. That's probably not even the best thing to say because I go for a lot of hard reads, but I guess I'm more interested in playing the situation well in terms of just like how the game functions more broadly than I am in terms of like reading my or being very like good about punishing my opponent's habits um super precisely. Um
Mm,
I think that like it's definitely obviously when I play, I see that my opponents like do things and I'm like, okay, I'm going to, you know, punish that and I'm going to start reading it. And I do that, but it doesn't like when I start to go for those reads or like change the way I play slightly, it isn't like I'm deviating very much from like my core gameplay. It just means that, say for example, if every time I shine X Fox's shield, I'm like, they always full hop. It's not like I'm gonna be like, all right, time to do shine full hop up air because I'm reading it. It's like no, I'll probably do something more like I'll do like shine and then wave dash back and then just play the full hop position because
yeah.
I'm just gonna play it out as I do typically, but I'm gonna lean more into like playing the types of positions that would be decent against the full hop. But I'm not gonna like change the way I fundamentally approach those situations to like max out value on like someone having a habit, you know?
Yeah. This fox for example is um is one of the other PR'd foxes in our state. Um and our games like when I net play them a fair bit uh just because like she's like one of the best foxes and I just want to be comfortable playing against better people in general.
Mm-hmm.
But like our games will typically be like there will be close games and there will be 4 stocks. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
And part of that I think is my inclination to sometimes like kind of like let go of the wheel a little bit and like do something very aggressive if I like go down and that like compounding things. Um, which I think is just like something I was thinking about because literally like in the we played a few games today just because I wanted something to look at for this lesson
Yeah.
because I've been doing a lot of IRL and like not a lot of brackets where I've been on stream or things like that for the Ditto.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it was just like like a couple close games, and then like literally like I just got deleted in like a minute and 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think it's that is something I needed to work. I do need to work on and like maybe like not have the slider on my decision making like be affected so heavily on like the games on like the stock count and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it is just something I wanted to talk about because I think it's something that's like across all matchups, even
Yeah.
though it's not specific to the Ditto that I just wanted to address.
Mm-hmm. That that makes sense. I think just as like a extra little side thought is I whenever it's like there's super wide variance in the results of the matches, it's like I could go from winning a match to getting four stocked. Um, on I generally tend to feel like there when I'm looking at my play, I'm like there is something like there's some like fundamental inconsistency kind of going on that I like probably have to do something about. And I don't know what that is specifically in this case, but like maybe it's it could be as broad of a matter as like when I play the way I play neutral, like the risk reward that I typically tend to like go for isn't
Mm.
like consistently like applied. Like sometimes I'll go for the riskiest thing ever when I normally wouldn't, just kind of cuz, and sometimes I'll play way too safe and not get the value I should or whatever. That's kind of how I feel when that kind of stuff happens. That's why it happens.
Yeah, when there's like that sort of disparity
Yeah, it's like
in
when you're
like
getting either four stocked or like winning games or something like that. It's like in your play, there's probably something the way that like maybe you're judging risk reward or like the way that like your the level of your defense that you play at typically there's some aspect like that that is just fluctuating in quality either from like 100 to 0 kind of randomly, and that's like what you should focus on. Does that make sense?
yeah, I no, that makes a lot of sense. And I feel that against a lot of people that are like my practice partners or like sometimes like against people who like in bracket I'll take a bad loss and I'm like how did I lose to this person?
Mm-hmm.
And I think game plan I think it's probably a risk reward thing and like poor gamesmanship or like overreaction to like being down in games or maybe even being up in games. Maybe I'm like over extending myself even if I have a slight lead. Like it could be a lot of things. But I do have that with like multiple people. Like and I feel like I've had a hard time pinpointing like what it is,
Yeah.
like where's the inconsistency? Because like I can tell myself like oh like my tech skill's not good today or like this or that. Like there's so many things that it like could be, but I do think it like comes down to like a more like fundamental like decision making stuff, decision making thing, and like whatever like my B or like C game is that I like slide into when I'm like not plugged in, it's just like I think the gap between that and like when I'm playing well is like astronomical.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like if you watch a set of me like taking like one of my best wins, you'll be like, oh my god, he was playing so well. And then it could be the same matchup, and you could like watch me taking a bad loss, and it's like a completely different player. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure it's like an experience thing, but I guess like w- if I'm trying to like fix that, what are the things I should be looking at when I'm like noticing that it's happening?
um I guess when you're playing, I don't honestly, unless you have like a good game memory, which is just super duper hard to have, it's probably like you in like VOD analysis, you'll have to just watch a game where you do normally, like maybe you win or go last stop, and then watch a game where it goes exceedingly poorly, and just be like, look at each thing that went wrong. It's like you get hit or you die, and just like figure out what specifically went wrong. And then you'll probably figure out some patterns from doing that. So it's like, oh, I lost 3 stocks to me getting punished after missing a shine out of shield. Maybe there's something to say about my shines out of shield or my shield out of shield defense, or it's like every time I like every time they're in the corner, I like pressured incorrectly and ended up getting reversaled. And that's like, oh, there's some sort of
Mm.
inconsistency in my corner pressure, right? Like that's kind of like the type of patterns that you want to come across. Does that make sense?
No, that makes sense. If we have time after, I mean, I know we're not very far in this game, and we like took a big sort of break to talk about that. I have games from literally this same session where I'm getting bodied and four
Mm-hmm.
stocked in a minute. So, and they're not long games. So, if we have time, maybe after like, or maybe if we like watch enough of this game, we could, I could maybe like just send you a slippy file for like me getting four stocked in like a minute and 10 seconds or something for
Yeah.
us to maybe look at.
Okay,
Um,
actually, I think we should. I think this will be a good opportunity to just like shift the focus of the lesson and spend the rest of this match just very quickly looking at things that go wrong. So we like take account of like, oh, you lost a corner interaction, you got hit off ledge, you
mm,
played a scramble poorly, and just go through it pretty quickly, and then go to the next match and do the same thing and see what like lines up. I think that'll be super duper important or like valuable. So we could just shift right now.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm looking. Yeah, I'm literally looking in like the at some of the like the game right after this is like yeah.
Okay,
I
cool.
got the replay for you, so you can go ahead. I'm looking.
Okay, nice. Okay. Went for something risky into the corner when you had good advantage. That's the broad thing is, maybe misjudging risk reward in the corner. Um, okay, you got hit near ledge. Yeah, I felt like you kind of fumbled a bit trying to get to the position you wanted to.
Mm.
Nice. Oh, nice. Good timing. Really good recognition. Oh, you got hit in the corner when you were shielding, so you got hit while defending. Okay.
Yeah. Another JC grab,
Yeah, looks like
and then
you
that was
dropped
the
your
up smash.
combo. Yeah, that's the up smash that got CC'd. Yeah.
That's
Oh,
tough.
yeah. It looks like you dropped your up
But
throw combo.
also like
JC grab.
Fox got the down hold button. You know, a little bit of a buff
Yeah.
there.
We definitely pretty easy to hold down on the press the down button. I'll say that. Yeah, it feels like you stopped moving a bit. Didn't really dash.
mm. Yeah, I'm kind of just throwing at hitboxes.
Yeah. I think this is kind of unrelated. It's not super related to like pick an issue and go over quickly, but I feel like you're kind of like you're trying to like play safe and stop them from like approaching super easily, but I feel like it ends up looking a lot like you're chasing them. It's not like you're literally chasing them, but you're like shadowing their position a lot, and I don't think that's good. Because what ends up happening is you end up being like an interaction like behind. So like here, for example, um, this is fine. This drill's fine, I suppose. Up tilt could have read them coming down. That's fine. But then you see them jump, and then you do this shine, and it's like maybe that shine could have worked. They're kind of in the air. I don't really think it would have hit. And then you do this full hop nair because you realize they're like on the top platform, and you're like, well, I
On the
guess I got
top
to do something
platform.
up. Yeah, it's like the way that you're like looking at the situations are like super broad. It's like they're kind of near me, so I guess I could shine. Or like, oh, they're above me, like doing something on the top platform. I guess I'll full hop nair. But like, if you're gonna look at those positions specifically, I think you probably would have done something different. Where it's like here, you do this shield and you wave dash forward. Instead of shining, I feel like if you were being a bit more specific, you'd have probably like shielded again in case they fall down with like a bear on top of your shield, or like maybe dashed back, right? If you're being a bit more
Yeah.
specific. And then it's like if you saw them like jump up the top platform while you're shining, instead of full hop nairing, I feel like if you're being a bit more specific, you'd probably full hop and then realize that you don't want to do anything, and then just fast fall empty land to the ground while drifting back or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not to say that like you aren't paying attention, but you're just not being specific enough with like how you want to play these situations out, and so it ends up like leaving you like not in the best position. Nice. Oh, Mr. Tech Chase. Okay, got hit off ledge. That's normal. Just a mix up. Oh, got hit coming out of the corner. You're being aggressive when you could have, based off the percents, probably would have been better to like play around shielding.
Yeah, I do a lot of like shield in the corner and then like wave dash in. But I should, if I am doing that, I should be like wave dash in and like buffer shield or something.
Yeah.
Rather than like try to like wave dash and then jump.
Yeah. If you're gonna like wave dash forward, you should probably do something fast afterwards. So it's like wave dash shield is fine sometimes if they're like really like pressuring, or like wave dash shine's good because shine's really fast, or wave dash around up tilt's good, or wave dash jab is good. Like all the fast things I think end up being pretty good in that spot. Mm-hmm. You do a full hop nair without drift. Looks like you kind of missed your dash. And then ended up getting whiff punished for it. Yeah. Didn't have good defense after. You could have shielded or shined. Okay. Shy Guy's just actually being the worst. Oh. You got hit in a position where you didn't have as much advantage as you thought you did. So instead of escaping, you tried to do something aggressive, and you ended up getting drilled. You were out of this tech chase, and you didn't shine.
Yeah, I definitely if I had that turnaround, that's a shine.
Yeah, you definitely have enough time to shine.
That interaction, I did not mean to teeter.
Yeah, no, I bet. I mean,
I tried to fall off and then like full hop back, and then I got this weird shield.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
that's the game.
Happens.
I didn't react to Randall being there. Normally I go to Randall there if I notice that, but.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Roll up. Nice. Oh. Again, another spot where you like kind of misjudge risk reward playing into the center, and you're like, oh, I saw a roll into the corner. I'm good enough to grab, but like you just don't have the time at all to do that. You end up just getting hit and potentially comboed. Oh, there's a position where you kind of misjudged like how much time they had to get out of the way, and so you do this full hop, and it's like she clearly has enough time to dash all the way back and just never get hit by this bear, right? And then you end up getting whiff punished. And then they're down tilt again. Awesome. Didn't respect invincibility. They got hit here. I feel like there tends to be a big trend with you being in the corner and getting hit. I feel like out of every time we've seen you in the corner, I think it's been like 5 out of 6 times or something since we started like speed watching. You've just gotten hit while in the corner. And the situations have been different, but you have been getting hit. Wow.
That's a great grab. Wow.
Yeah. Damn. Okay, cool.
Let's
grab the other VOD real quick and we'll go over it.
I got it. If I remember this correctly, I feel like I start out well. Here, hold on. Let me go to our DMs and we can just attach it.
Okay.
If I remember correctly, I like have a good first stock, and then they take 3 stocks really quickly, and then I like am clawing for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
But I might be wrong.
Okay.
And then there's another there's like an FD 4 stock, but that's kind of
That's FD. It's different.
That's FD. Yeah.
Oh, is it gonna load or is it not gonna work? Come on, you could do it. Okay, cool. I guess just before we get into this match, quick recap of the things that went wrong. A lot of corner positions, whether there's one where you're shielding and you acted out of shield when in the corner when you were probably trying to defend and you got clipped. A lot of times where you were dashing out of the corner and she just kind of covered the space there and hit you. A lot of the times where she was in the corner and you missed, like, judged your advantage and went for something that was like pretty risky. One being the one that we talked about pretty extensively, where she ran off the top platform, dash danced into the corner, and you grabbed reading a shield. And another one where
Yeah.
you grabbed into the corner, she rolled out of the way, and then you tried to do a second grab to like after the roll, but you didn't have enough time. You ended up getting drilled. And then a few like spots in between where it's like, oh, you don't have enough advantage or as much advantage as you think you do, so you full hop over her and you do a bear that she ends up with punish grabbing for free, or like um the one thing that we kind of talked about a little bit where when she's kind of moving around the stage, you end up like shadowing her, but like you're not being super specific. So if she were like paying a bit more attention or like being a bit more proactive, even you would like some portion of the time get clipped for doing it.
Yeah.
You know. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, I feel like you kind of threw away an opportunity here. She stands still here. I'm so down to just run forward, wave dash down right here. Because can't do like dash forward, drill, and hit me. If she wants to hit me, she's going to have to run far to hit me. And she kind of gave you the space for free. And then you end up moving backwards, right? But she didn't like do anything.
Yeah. Yeah. A
Yeah.
little too much respect for the better player.
Yeah. Let's see. You end up getting cornered. And it seems like, I don't know if you're trying to dash
I kind of
dance.
corner myself.
Yeah, you definitely did corner yourself. She was full screen, and you were like, I got to go into the corner, and you go all the way back. It looked like you were trying to do something aggressive here. So, again, another issue. Guess where you're in the corner and you try and force your way out, and guess what? She's there using an aerial, right? You get hit, get shine, grab ledge. She messes up the edge guard. It's fine. Oh, up air. This is you misjudging your advantage. I think you hit this bear, you get the shine, and you're like, oh, I'm still in a good position. But then you do this upper, and it's like she clearly had time to move out of the way,
there.
right? Yeah, it's like she'll still be here, but it's like no, she wasn't. Nice. That one doesn't really matter. That's what happens.
Yeah, that down tilt is like a good example of the one that we talked about at the first.
Yeah, I think this one was good.
Like that's a pretty common one is like aerial off ledge into down tilt.
Yeah. Here you should have backered off stage. Do dash back, double jump back here. So you're on this side. Yeah. So if she goes to the left, get an edge guard maybe. Oh, you come off top platform, kind of not respecting her in the corner again, and you just get clipped. It's like, oh, in a bad position, you saw her like do a weird like full hop up air that isn't like the best, and then you're like, oh well, I guess I can go down and do something, but you're not being specific enough in the ways that the timings line up. Guess what? You come down, she's dash dancing. She's been dash dancing for a while, and you just get dash whiff punished, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, I think this is the biggest recurring issue is like, when you see things happen, you're clearly paying attention, but the problem is that you're not taking into account like what you're doing at the same time and how that affects how you'll be able to interact with them. Because like this one, for example, this upper wasn't very great at all, but you were jabbing, right? You were literally jabbing as she was up airing. There's no way, and then you shield to like defend yourself. There's like no way that you'll ever get down in time to ever interact with that, right?
Yeah, that jab was probably that jab is. My guess is that that's a tech flub for me trying to run off Nair instantly, which probably would have gotten caught.
I think
which is why I press the A button and then I tap L with trying to L cancel.
No, I mean I think that makes sense. But then afterwards, it's like if you mess up like that, you don't want to double down and do the same thing again. It's like this is a new opportunity.
Double down and be like, oh, it'll work now. Yeah.
It's a new opportunity to like. You get to see that this is not the spot you want to be, and you could just full hop away, full hop back, end up right here. You're not getting hit, and you get to go back and play neutral again. And that's kind of like the important part, I guess, is when you see these like awkward positions come up and they're doing something that you're like not super duper ready for, but like you're also doing something at the same time. You just got to look and be like, can I even interact with this? Do I even have the time? And then if you don't, guess what? You just get to go back scot free, you know?
Yeah.
You missed your grab on get up attack. That's a second tech chase you've missed where like you kind of had it. JC grab
Yeah.
again. Yeah. Hmm. I think this was another time where you like assume that she would still be there, but you like didn't take into account like the fact that she would just be able to move, you know?
Yeah, I feel like I throw a lot of full hop aerials like right next to side plat. If that, like
Mm-hmm.
the full hop up air, this full like that drill, it's like
I think
I don't know.
yeah, I
That's
think if I
not
were to
sort of
like
like
make like a general kind of like I guess claim on this is I'd be like I think what you'd want to focus on if you were to like fix this issue is I guess how they go about this. When I think that the crux of the issue is when you are in like scramble positions where like your opponent could potentially be hitting you, you are not reacting as much as you should be. And the variant that like say maybe you're getting 4 stock versus like a last stock game comes in with how willing your opponent is to punish you in those spots. Because we've seen Audrey punish you in these spots way more often this game than we did like the last game, for example, right? Like there's a
yeah.
lot of full hops that you kind of got away with in the last game that were like, oh well, it's not a big deal, I guess, but like it could have gone wrong. But these like she's hit you for significantly more often. I mean, we're 45 seconds in, right?
Yeah.
And I
And
think that
it's
might be
hitting me
like,
hard.
yeah, and I think that might be like the way that I go about it, go about looking at like that specific issue. Um,
I feel like if I remember correctly, after I lose this stock, it goes
it
downhill really
just
quickly, which is
okay. We'll see what
which is
the
which is kind of the thing I kind of want to watch happen, Loki. Let me
yeah.
just
Oh, bad full hop nair. You didn't full hop nair when you didn't need to. What's this gonna do at 8%? Right? Nothing.
yeah.
You get reversal for hitting the nair, right? That's like that seems pretty unfair. Um, you grab into the
Yeah,
corner when
that would
she's
grab was like
falling. Yeah.
yeah, it's a bad option to cover that. Sometimes I guess it's like that's a weird situation where like if they're at that height, um, if they're at like if they're a little bit lower when they start that up B,
Mm-hmm.
then that grab will work because I don't like dash attacking there to cover that because they'll just hold in and end up behind me and they're at low percent.
Yeah.
So if I see them do that like straight up B right next to the stage, I'd like to go for grab. Um so that is like a premeditated option, but I didn't properly assess how low they were when they started that,
Yeah. Have
if that makes
you
sense.
thought about using aerials to intercept them? Like, what if here instead of doing
I
like, what if you just did like a
mm,
dash forward full hop rising bear, and you just get to cover like this entire chunk of space with it?
mm, no, I guess I haven't. I guess I guess it's just like a lack of willingness to fling myself off stage.
Mm-hmm.
But I just gotta I just gotta hit it, I
Yeah,
just gotta
it's like
practice
if you hit
hitting it.
it and they can't avoid it, does it matter if you're feeling yourself off stage?
No, exactly. But
Right?
I guess it's just an option that I haven't developed.
Yeah. All right,
No, fair point.
let's see the downfall happen since we're getting near time. So
Yeah.
you get shined at 20%. You grab into the corner again. Another thing that like has happened a lot. Feel like you're misjudging risk reward. Okay, you get
Oh
fucking.
gosh.
You're in the corner dash chancing and you miss. You don't use shield when you need to. Another time when you're in the corner and you don't like properly defend yourself, You should use shield more often
I
and like
feel,
really hold it.
yeah, I feel like a lot of times in these corner interactions is I'm getting hit out of my dash dance, and I'm just
Yep.
dash dancing under a side plat.
Yeah, but it's like I don't know if we talked about this in the last lesson, but like shielding against Fox is really good because what's Fox gonna do? You have shine on his shield, and what's Fox gonna do to you shielding other than just like aerial shine it? It's like if he grabs you, what if you're doing an aerial? What if you're full hopping? What if you're rolling? What if you're spot dodging? Like those are all the things
Yeah,
he has to like worry about when just trying to grab a shield. So it's like pretty risky for him, and so it's like him hitting your shield doesn't matter. And you shielding his aerials are really good because you get to shine on his shield, reversal him for it half the time. So leaning into that as like
yeah,
your defense tool more so than dash dancing in these spots where you don't have the space to move away, super duper important. And I think just by like you holding shield in these spots versus like dash dancing, you would probably like the games would be going significantly better just off of that alone. You know. Um, you kind of follow, and then another full hop where you're like, I guess I got to defend myself or do something, and then you see that she's up tilting, and you're
dude.
like, oh, up
And
tilt, but like she's
I've
not going to be there,
I've
you
done
know?
I've done that full hop so many times. That's crazy.
Yeah, and it's just,
And I've gotten hit for it every time.
yeah, you've got to hit for it like every time. It's just not going well. Oh, it happens. Fourth throw,
That
up
Kevin
throw's
Tech
good
is
there,
just
and you'd probably kill yourself. Oh no, we're lit. Oh my god, oh you're the goat. You knew what was happening. You know it was gonna work out all along. Nice.
that's another one that I missed that I had.
Yeah. This position is just unwinnable, unfortunately. It's impossible not to get clipped by Fox mashing. If she just starts naring in place, the game's over immediately. So that's a bit rough. But yeah, I mean, I feel like the biggest issues are not shielding in the corner or like playing defense poorly, doing the full hop where you think she'll like stay in place, but she won't. And then um I think that those are the two most important things. Do you feel like you saw anything else that you want to talk about?
No, those are the main things, and then I can go back and listen to some of the more detailed interaction breakdown from the first half of the lesson. But my question is, what would the replacement be for those full hops? So when I'm dash dancing in the corner, it's going to be shielding,
Yeah.
but for those full hops where like I'm misjudging that they're going to be in one place, like should I not be full hopping there at all? Like what should I like? Let's say I hit a back air that gets CC'd right next to side plat,
Yeah.
which is like where I'll do that full hop up air or full hop drill or something.
Mhm.
What should my follow up be?
I think if you like end up I think like you doing the full hops in those positions aren't bad. I think the problem is that you're trying to like do it like hit her. What if you like full hop and then just double jump away? What if you full hop, drift back, and
Hmm.
like empty land and dash back, you know? Like that's kind of the issue, I guess. Is
Is
it
like maybe not using enough movement to like bait an opening.
it feels like your goal isn't to in those awkward positions, your goal isn't to escape, but like you're trying to hit her. But if you thought of it as like
Mm.
this is a spot that I need to like get out of quickly, then you'll be like, oh, what if I double jump the top platform? What if I empty land? What if I, I mean, instead of full hopping, I dash, right? That's kind of like it. You have to like disengage, I guess, instead
A
of
bit
like trying to
more.
hit her.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, no, that makes sense.
Cool. Anything else?
No, no, that's fine. I mean, yeah, I'm just gonna keep working on. I definitely think some a proper like tech skill jump is required.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm probably gonna put a big onus on that before tipped off because I want to do good there, even though
Yeah.
it's gonna be super brutal. It's gonna be
Mm-hmm.
like round two top 100 player like for sure. Because it's gonna be like 180 people and like 30. I think there's like 35 top 100 players or something like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Um,
good people
but
going.
But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, no, I feel good. I think we'll have one more lesson before tipped off. If pools are announced, I might want to do something like based on who I would have to play in pools. But
Okay.
I guess we'll see.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. Yeah, I mean, just before tipped off, make sure you practice tech skill as much as possible. Practice stuff like JC grabbing, shine on the shield, hitting your wave dashes and all that
Mm,
stuff. Like all the basics that you like really need to have down. Make sure that you're super clean with that, and then try your best to work on the stuff we've talked about. And I think obviously we'll have another lesson too, but I think it'll end up
yeah.
going well.
Also, yeah, I'm sure we'll be able to play at some point over the weekend.
Oh yeah,
Since
yeah,
you'll be there
yeah. I'll definitely be there, so we'll play.
for sure. All right,
Okie
cool.
dokie.
All right,
Yeah.
man. You have a good one.
You too. Later.